Are you stuck in YouTube penitentiary, recording video after video for your YouTube channel and just not seeing any results? I know, I've been there. And yet you see other people that just record a few videos and now their channel just skyrockets to the moon and you're like, oh, where is my YouTube juice? This training here is gonna fix that. Because I'm gonna be talking to a gentleman, a mentor of mine that's helping me with my channel, to take my channel from where it is right now, to take it to the moon. And he routinely will take a channel, launch it from scratch, and get that channel to just go bonkers. And he is responsible for over 1 billion views on YouTube. He is an expert at this, and I guarantee you that when you finish watching this training, you're gonna look at your YouTube content strategy in a whole completely different way. That's me. I'm looking at everything I'm doing in a completely different way. And I'm doing this interview because I know that the pain and suffering that I've had with building my YouTube channel, and I don't want that same pain and suffering to be cast upon you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this party started. All right, I always f up the intro at least once. So here we go. Let's go. Let me put on my glasses because I always think that they never recognize me if I don't wear my glasses, which that presupposes that they give a damn about me, but it's okay. Devon, I want to say thank you for coming on, and I guarantee that I'm going to try to squeeze your brain as hard as I can for all the secrets while we're here together. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I'm super excited to be here, man.
Perfect. So I want to give everybody a background in terms of how you and I met and why we're here. And so Devon used to be in the wholesale real estate niche. For those of you that are here that maybe don't know me, I am a real estate investor and I specialize in helping other real estate investors how to go out and find properties and how to make money in real estate. And Devon also was doing that as well. And I came to know him because I was watching his channel. And I noticed that, hey, this guy's publishing videos just like I'm publishing videos, but he's doing a little bit better than I am. So I started to keep track of him. And then all of a sudden, one day he stopped. He left the wholesale real estate niche. And I wanted to see if maybe you can maybe let everybody know a little bit about your background, how it is that you got started with wholesaling, but also what made you pivot into doing this and being involved with YouTube.
Yeah, so as Chris just explained, kind of that's really how it all went down. I started my real estate wholesaling back in 2017. I was just a freshman in college. I was looking for ways to make money. And I came across, I was trying to find different ways to make money. And I've honestly tried almost every business model out there. But one of the first successes that I had was with real estate wholesaling. And so in my sophomore year of college, I ended up making like $40,000 while I was going to school and while I was playing baseball. And from there, I always kind of, I had my eye on this like YouTube. And kind of funny story is my parents actually bought me like one of these like Yeti microphones for Christmas. It was like 2017. And on January 1st, I ended up making my first video ever talking about real estate wholesaling. And that was honestly like one of the most embarrassing things ever. You guys can go back and watch the video. And honestly, I hate watching it, but it's kind of funny. I'm like in my parents' basement. I'm like whispering. I'm like, hey guys, I want to teach you how to make money, like make a full-time income working like part-time hours or something like that. And honestly, that kind of just kickstarted my career. So I just started slowly uploading on YouTube. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this every day for a year straight. If I do it every day for a year, at least I can say I tried. And I feel like it's going to give me the best opportunity for success. So I was uploading videos just like kind of like how I'm talking to the camera right now. And I would talk about something to do with wholesaling every day, kind of like Chris is actually today. I would make a video about, I don't know, how to wholesale houses or how to find whatever. It's some of the tactical stuff inside of wholesaling. I did it every day for a year, and I actually only missed 2 days. And it was because I had some like technical error and I just couldn't upload that day. And after doing it for a year straight, I got to the point where I was making like $3,000 to $4,000 a month off of the channel. And
I didn't know you were making that much off the channel.
Yeah, it was like 2,000 to 3,000 from
my channel.
Sorry, what was that, Chris?
No, I said that's more than I make off of my channel. So I didn't know you were making, that's a pretty decent amount of money.
Yeah, ad revenue, I think the most I ever made was like $1,800 in a month. And then I was getting affiliate commissions from a skip tracing company and then On Carrot, which is like a website company.
Got it.
It's actually funny. I haven't uploaded a video in over 2 years since 2019, and I actually made $700 this month from on Carrot.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, yeah. So that's one of the key things that key things I like about YouTube is unlike Instagram where you do a video and then it just disappears into the air. YouTube lives forever, and a lot of these videos will just continue to generate views and continue to generate exposure for you for many years to come.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was doing pretty decent on YouTube, and there's definitely a lot for me to grow. But I really, at that point in time, I'll be honest, I wasn't really wholesaling houses anymore. I wasn't really doing any more real estate. It came to a point where YouTube was a full-time thing for me because I was doing a video every day, and I'd
Right.
spend like 4 to 6 hours a day doing the YouTube stuff. And
Got it. Okay.
so I kind of started to fall more in love with that. I mean, I made it probably about $70,000 or $80,000 wholesaling houses. So I knew a little bit about what I was talking about, but I definitely not as experienced as you, Cris, where you've probably done millions of dollars in real estate over however many years that you've been doing it.
Well, I
And
would argue that you did it long enough to know that you didn't like to do it that much. Would you say
yeah,
that's
I
accurate?
would say I gave myself a really solid shot
Right.
at it.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with the business model. It's just I didn't like having to talk to like motivated sellers all the time. I have to like finding discounted properties. And the one thing I did love was talking to like other real estate investors or other people with money to invest in houses because I would see them more as like a mentor. And I was able to get a few millionaire mentors out of the wholesaling business, which really kind of allowed me to kind of expand my mind while I was in college.
Got it.
And so after doing the YouTube for a year, I came across this business model where essentially you would upload videos on YouTube, but you wouldn't have to show your face on camera. And so I came across this model and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to give it a shot. And so I found this niche. Essentially, like I was doing research one late at night, or I was just watching videos and I was like, wait a second. These videos look like, I don't know, like someone in middle school video editing class made these things.
Yeah.
It looks super simple to make. And at this point, I've been like editing videos for a year, been making thumbnails for a year or so. I mean, I've been studying YouTube for a year, trying to grow my own channel. So I started trying out these new faceless channels, and I spent probably like 12 hours trying to figure it out one day, like trying to figure out how to edit the videos. It was like a new way of doing it for me, but it was still all basic editing. And then after that, I put out one video. I think it got like 10 views that day. I was like, okay, not bad. And so I decided I was going to do it every day for 30 days. And so I would just keep doing a video. And then I started getting really excited after day 3 or 4. I started doing 2 videos a day. So I was spending like 8 to 10 hours a day making these videos.
Okay.
And I was like really trying to pump it out because I was really excited. I was like, finally, like an opportunity that's new. And actually it's something that like I'm decent at because I've learned how to edit over the past year or so. Definitely put over like hundreds of hours into learning the skill of editing. And so I kept making the videos. And after like 10 days, all of a sudden I started getting like 1,000 views a day. And I was like, wow, okay. So it took me at that point, I think it took me about, maybe after about a year, I got to a point I was finally doing 1,000 views a day on my other channel. So I was like, it took me 10 days to get the same result.
Got it.
And so I kept going. And then the next day I got like 10,000 views. And then the next day I got 40,000 views in a day. And then the next day I got like 100,000, and then I got 400,000, and then I hit 1 million views in a day after 14 days.
Wow.
And then the next day I got it was like 1.4 million views in one single day.
Wow. Okay. So that was pretty quick. Yeah, so in other words, with this here, you were doing all this stuff about wholesaling, and it took you quite a bit of time in order to grow that channel, get that number of views. But with this, you were able to figure it out, and then very quickly getting a lot more success in terms of views than you were with the wholesaling, right?
Yeah. So like at that point in time, I was making $3,000 to $4,000 a month from the wholesaling stuff. And then with this new channel that I was doing, the faceless channel, I was making $3,000 to $4,000 a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so at that point, I was like, I realized like I need to go all in on this.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much calculations, like 3,000 a month, 3,000 a day. I think I'm gonna focus on that one. And you don't have to talk to anybody like with the wholesaling, right?
Yeah, and I didn't have to talk about wholesaling like the same thing every single day on my channel because I was basically just running in circles at that point because I made like 300 videos about the same topic.
Yes, I believe me, I feel your pain sometimes. So let me tell you that.
But the funny thing is when you do those videos, it's like people still like haven't seen your old content. So when you upload same
Yeah,
content.
I
People
thought,
are like,
it's
oh
funny
wow,
because
like
yeah, because if you look at it from the perspective of you're always doing a video for someone new coming onto the channel, that you could theoretically do like the same video every 2 months and nobody would know the difference, right? Because they don't go through the old stuff, like you said. So then now you started to get traction with this in a relatively short period of time. And then that's when you decided, you know what, I'm going to go all in on this, right?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay. This niche is an opportunity for someone that is interested in, let's say, generating revenue through affiliate, because you can do affiliate marketing with this because you're getting the views, plus also you're making money from YouTube. Maybe just to make sure everybody's on the same page, when we talk about making money from YouTube, that maybe you could explain to everybody what that means, because maybe people don't have an idea of how the AdSense program works with YouTube.
Yeah, so essentially, like whenever, like maybe you guys watching this video right now currently, when you clicked on it, there was an ad that popped up at the beginning. And what you essentially did was you just paid Chico over here, you just paid him like half a penny essentially by watching that ad. And so how YouTube works is they share the profits that they get from the advertisers over to the creators as well. And they understand that the creators are their most valuable asset on their platform. And so every $100 that YouTube gets paid out, you as a creator actually get paid out $55 out of that 100. So you get 55% of the advertising budget that was spent on your video. And so if you get 1,000 views, they call it CPMs or RPMs, like revenue per 1,000 views, essentially is all you guys need to know it means. And so like they'll pay like some channels like $2 or $5 per 1,000 views. So if you get 1,000 views, you get paid $5. And I know Cris, he's on a real estate channel, so I think you get something stupid like $20 or $30
Right.
on your videos. Like, and maybe worst case scenario, you get $10. So yeah, depending on what niche you're talking, your videos are, advertisers are willing to pay more per customer, and then you get a large percentage of the profits that YouTube makes on the ads that are played on your video. And then there's other ways to monetize too, like affiliate marketing, or we've done brand deals where I got paid $5,000 to just do like a 30-second ad on like one of my videos with like I think it was like a VPN company.
Got it. Okay.
And different like SaaS companies and stuff will work with for brand deals or whatever. But or you can always do merch or digital products or whatever. But yeah,
and that's one of the most important things I think one of the most important things about YouTube, in that YouTube is if you go on Facebook, you post a video and it's viral, or if you go to Instagram and you get a lot of friction, a lot of traction on any particular content. Number one, that content goes away because it doesn't live forever. But two, they're not paying you. So YouTube is very aggressive with paying their creators because they want you to create more content, because that's how they make money, and they share in the revenue. So I think that that's what makes the platform unique, and also why it makes it really enticing for people. Now, with your model that you're using, if I was here and I said to you, Devon, hey, I'm interested in this, I want to create a channel on something. How would that work? Like, what kind of channel would I create?
Yeah. So the thing is essentially what we're doing are niche-based channels.
Mm-hmm.
And so any niche that you can think of, whether it be, let's say, sports, so hockey or football or basketball, or even like, let's say, ballet dancing, or on the other side of the spectrum to like cars, or let's say hunting or kayaking. All it is essentially at the end of the day, any sort of niche that there is like an audience out there, you're curating content geared towards that niche. So like, for example, we have a history channel. We'll make videos about like World War II and some like factual things about that, like crazy stories that happened, or some maybe the after effects of World War II, or maybe something to do with like Egyptian history. And what we're doing essentially is just kind of coming up with videos that audience would want to watch around the niche. And some of them, maybe they're and what we usually try to go for, like videos that people try to like, that are going to watch for like, not just like the next 6 months or the next few months from now, but videos that people are going to watch for the next 5 years or 10 years even.
Got it. Yeah, because if you made videos, let's say if you built a channel like this based on current events, then the views would dwindle, because then after today, that event, those things are no longer current. So you're looking at things that, like, for example, could be, I'm just using an example. Let's say that I have an interest in productivity as an example, right? So I can create a channel around that. Now, if I'm not going to be the one in front, then in front of that channel. I guess the channel that I think about when I think about this is Evan Carmichael's channel, right? Evan Carmichael's channel. He's taking video content and clips from other videos, putting them together and theming them, and then now he's publishing those videos. What his channel? I forgot what his name is. It's under Evan Carmichael, but it's kind of like a compilation. Would you say it's accurate to say it's a compilation of, like, say, if I was going to do, I could do a great, say if I'm going to do a productivity channel, and then I can grab all the productivity tips that Grant Cardone has. So I can make a video on, hey, here are the top 10 tips from Grant Cardone on productivity, and I can put that together. Then at that point, then that's content that I can publish that would be evergreen in terms of the topic, and then people would watch it, and I would make money from the rev share with YouTube. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, you pretty much hit the head with the hammer on that one. That's pretty much spot on. I mean, at this point, Chris, you should go start a channel, honestly.
Well, I always say that it's always, it's like driving a car, right? You get in the car every day and you turn on the ignition, you put it on drive and you go, right? It's a very simple process. But if you lift up the hood, you see that, wow, there's a lot of things going on in there in order to make that possible. So even though it's a simple business, there's a lot of stuff underneath the hood, right? Because you have a team that you build up, and you teach people how to do this, but you build a team of video editor, right? What are like the different components of that? Because you're not doing the video editing yourself right now. You have other people doing it, right?
Yeah. So the luxury of the business model is I don't have to be on camera. Like, Chris, if you were to there's one part that you like, it's impossible for you to outsource on your channel unless you just completely pivoted and people are going to be confused. And that's the one part you can't outsource is you showing up on the camera every day.
Yes. 100%.
And so the luxury of these like kind of automated channels or faceless channels or whatever you want to call them, they like, you don't have to be on camera, so you can outsource every aspect of it. So we'll hire like voice actors and video editors and script writers, and sometimes we'll even hire like researchers to find ideas for the script writers. So they'll come up with even like the titles and the ideas for our content, and then we'll hire like let's say a thumbnail designer, or graphic designer to make the thumbnails for the content. And it gets to a point where it's like every single aspect is outsourced, and we kind of turn it almost into like a conveyor belt. So we'll start production on a video, and then as it's going through the script writing process and it goes over into the video editor, then we start another video idea. And then it's just kind of, we're constantly pumping out content, and it's kind of moving like the workload across like a group of people. And and then essentially producing the content without me. Like, I haven't edited a video myself in over 10 years, unless I did some like random wacky project just for fun.
But and when you talk about hiring all these people, you're also taking advantage of the wage arbitrage is a name for it, because you're getting people that are overseas, right? That they're great video editors, and you're able to outsource that work so that you're not really paying that much per video in order to get that done. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you can do that. Like I've had, like, we've done channels, or I have friends that run channels where they pay like anywhere from like $10 to $25 a video for like an 8 to 12 minute video. But we're kind of at a point now where we try to go for quality over quantity as much as possible. So the cheapest we'll pay is like $100 a video, but we've had projects where we paid like $500 to $800 a video, or we've even paid like $2,000 a video. But it's kind of the upper echelon stuff. Like most of the projects you can probably do for like $50 to $100.
Well, I would assume that in the beginning, if you're starting out, then maybe you would err on the side of, I guess, because if you're going to pay a lot of money for a video, it's because that your experience, and you know that, hey, I think this one will be a great video, so you're willing to spend more money. Would you say that people starting out might not go that route, might go a less expensive route in order to kind of get the ball rolling and kind of work out the kinks in the system for them?
Yeah. So like when I got started, I was extremely frugal. I mean, so I pretty much just learned how to do everything myself, and I did everything myself. But even with the budget of, let's say, like $1,000, $1,500 a month, you can get a channel that's producing anywhere from like 10 to 20 videos a month.
Oh wow, really? Oh wow, that is pretty good. Wow, I didn't realize that, actually. So $1,500 budget, you can then be producing how many videos?
Anywhere from like 10 to 20. Obviously, it depends on how much you're paying per video. But yeah, And so at that point, it's just like you can create just a content farm where you're just mass uploading videos, and then just and obviously if you do it for long enough, and hopefully like you pay attention to what you're putting out and you're always improving, you over the long run, it's like eventually you're going to get some sort of result, you know.
You tell me if this is accurate, but a little bit of the snowball effect, meaning that at the beginning you're starting to publish content, you get some traction. As you're doing it, you're learning and understanding what's working, what's not working, and you continue making adjustments. And then all of a sudden, then you get that bump where one of the videos will hit, and then that just takes the channel really to another level. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, it's pretty much any channel is one video away. And then as soon as like that one video blows up and gets millions of views, it's kind of like then the rundown, like the waterfall effect kind of happens. And it's like all these other videos start getting views. And then every video that you upload after that is getting significantly more views than you were in the past.
Got it. So I want to make a mention on the description here on below the video. I'll put links to Devon, so you could follow him. He publishes content, and will be publishing more content around this niche. So if you wanted to get more information and or learn more about that, I'll put the links in the description. Recently, I was looking for some headphone reviews, and I caught a bunch of channels that are doing headphone electronic reviews, but they're not the personality type. They're not just, they have different B-roll, they're showing different things on the channel, and then they're giving their advice, and then it's narrated, and then they have a link for like an Amazon affiliate and stuff like that. Those are like, that's another type of channel, right, that somebody could do if they wanted to do those type of channels, or no?
Yeah, so yeah, there's many different forms of doing it. Like there's like the tech reviews, or there's like, you can do like educational content, or you can do like top 10s, like maybe like top 10 roller coasters, which if you're watching this, please don't make top 10 roller coasters. It's been like done 1,000 times, but like you can do like top 10 videos or like list videos, or there's like some weird random trends that go around. Like there's like that bar chart racing trend that was going on, which it's a little dead and gone now, but there's like, I don't know, like different people do tier lists or whatever. There's like, yeah. So there's like trendy stuff. There's educational content. Like your channel is an educational content, I would consider it. Or you can do like list videos, and usually like all those are kind of animated, or like even storytelling. That's kind of how I got into it, with storytelling. And then now we kind of try to go more so for like the evergreen kind of, or like the educational kind of niches.
It's kind of like entertaining docu-series videos that people will find interesting, but they will find interesting that information for a while, right? Because as long as the internet exists, there's people always perpetually looking for information on those topics. So they're evergreen, as you mentioned. Let's say that there's people here that would consider that as a business. And then there's also people like me that look at social media and look at YouTube and say, wow, I got, being out there on this platform is going to give me more exposure. Nowadays, when people, if I'm selling a product online, people will look me up because they want to see, like, I want to know what this guy Chico's all about, and they come to my YouTube channel. And so one of the other reasons why you and I connected is because I was thinking, well, can I apply some of the strategies that you're using for these type of channels to my brand channel? And so I wanted to see if maybe we can share some tips for people that are here that are interested in growing a personal brand channel, and how could use some of the stuff that you're using with these channels that you're able to make go viral, but then help someone like me. Because you and I had a conversation with Devon about the fact that I've gotten a lot of advice. I've been through a lot of courses on YouTube, and even like some advice, and we talked about this as, hey, go ahead and record a video a day, every single day, and all of a sudden, YouTube will just show up at your door with all these people, and it would just be amazing. And I'd done that, but YouTube never came. They just never came. And I wanted to see, maybe we can have a discussion around that. I know that you said some things about my channel, but for somebody, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see, or pitfalls that you see for someone like myself?
I mean, it's kind of like what Cris is doing at the moment currently, where he's like uploading a video every single day. And it's just like, after just putting out so much content, it's like, hopefully some of them will eventually pick up. Essentially, it's like you're going to the gym every single day for, let's say, like 20-30 minutes. You're showing up, maybe just going on the treadmill real quick, doing maybe the stair stepper or something. And then maybe just doing like a little light workout, maybe doing some curls. And then you're like, okay, I went to the gym, I worked out, and then I'm going home. Whereas it's kind of like you're already at the gym, It's like, why not just get like a really intense workout and maybe spend an extra 15 minutes? You go really hard. Maybe you just like go till fatigue on, let's say, like bench press, or maybe you're doing like squats or whatever it may be that day. And if you go till fatigue versus just kind of like showing up, kind of just going through the motions every day, you're going to get probably the same result that you would get 2 years from now of showing up to the gym every single day in the span of a month, if you just push yourself to the limits and go as hard as you possibly can and stay there maybe an extra 15 minutes or so. And so that's kind of one of the things that I advise for people that are maybe, they're like, oh, I've already uploaded hundreds of videos, thousands of videos. And okay, now I got, let's say, 15,000 subscribers. It's like, why not just spend more time on coming up with the ideas, spending more time on, let's say, the front end side of things? Like, why are people going to watch your videos? Like, what's going to get thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people going to click on your video? And spend more time focusing on that and then creating content around that. Even if, let's say, you're uploading, let's say, a video a day and you have to reduce it down to, let's say, 1 to 2 videos a week. And then you spend so much time on the front end. Like, why are people going to watch your video? Like, what's going to be the most maximized effective video, and produce content around that? You're going to get substantially more results. You'll probably get the same results that you would get in 2 years in, let's say, like a month. Like I know from personal experience, at this point now, I've gotten, I think, like 15 channels from 0 to 100,000 views in one day. So like they were starting from like nothing, and then I got it to where it was getting 100,000 views in a day. And I've most of those times that I've done it, it was like within less than a month. And usually when you get to that point, you probably have like 8,000, 10,000 subscribers. And Cris, I don't mean to kind of single you out, but like you've been doing this for, let's say, like 10 years now, and you've gotten to like 15,000 subscribers. Like I've had channels where it's like gotten that same result in a month. And so all it is just kind of like the front end of spending more time on that and kind of revisiting kind of your strategy, I guess.
Right. So one of the things that I pick up on here is, number one, is that a lot of guys out there are preaching the volume game, and the volume game can work. However, if you could get the same results in a much shorter period of time with just a more methodical effort, then why not take that approach and be able to get the same, be able to get the same result, but in a much shorter period of time and much more focused. So in other words, the volume game isn't really the best game to play if you're looking to grow fast, right? Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I just want to take a step back real quick. And I'm like, next time you guys, like, if you guys are looking at this video like 6 months from now or a year from now, Cris is going to be way bigger than he is right now currently. So if he has more than 15,000 subscribers, that means like what we're doing is working. Right. So to take notes on what Cris is doing and what happened after this video that we put out here today.
So now if we think about if we say, okay, volume is not the key, right? Because a lot of people get stuck on the mechanical side. Do I have the right tags? Do I have this right? And so I would say that, would you say that is not the most important piece, that the content strategy is the most important thing? Would you say that?
Yeah. So essentially it's like people are worrying about these little like optimizing, like a little like 1% optimizations. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a waste of energy.
Yeah. It's like putting racing tires on a Yugo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got a lawnmower and it's just like a little old just piece of crap lawnmower. It's like 20 years old, and you're trying to put like, I don't know, you're putting like racing red paint on it.
Trying to put, yeah. So then let's say maybe we could use me as an example. So if content is the most important thing, what would you say are maybe top three mistakes that people do when it comes to content strategy? Like, I think one of them would be is that the video is too niche. Would you say that that's probably one of the mistakes that people make?
Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing is just like who's watching your video. So it's all dependent on your goal. Like if maybe you're trying to build out like some insane, let's say that you're trying to build out like some health supplement for like, let's say people that do yoga classes.
Right.
It's like, just go hardcore on making like that yogis, let's say, like go hardcore on like the yogi audience and make these videos that are like super tactical for like the hardcore yogis. But if you're trying to reach like millions of views, like millions of people, and you're trying to like get your name out there, instead of making like videos that it's like, I don't know, maybe like how to do some insane like how to keep your joints healthy for like yoga classes. Instead of
Right.
doing that, maybe like do videos that like anybody can watch, even if they don't care about yoga or not. So I guess really at the end of the day, it's like, what's your goal? And then make content that works towards that goal. Like if you're just trying to just be someone that has 5,000 subscribers, then you can make these niche videos. But most of you, I think you're trying to get like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers and be
Right.
as big as possible. So you got to ask yourself, like, what's deserving of like 5 million people to watch? What's deserving of 10 million people, 20 million people? If you don't know, then go watch a bunch of videos that are getting 5 million views. Watch a bunch of videos that are getting 20 million views and ask yourself, how can you replicate that same exact thing in
Right.
your own
Because
kind of like
yeah.
in your
Yeah.
own language?
Yeah, because if you're, I think one of the frames that you gave me is, hey, if I think about a video idea and I ask myself, hey, would this video get 1 million views, as an example? Would this video get 500,000 views, as an example? Then if the answer is no, then maybe that might not be a good video for me to record, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of just making like a binary answer
Yeah.
to whether or not a video idea is good or not. And if it's no, then don't waste your time anymore and just move on to the next one. Maybe it takes you like a week to come up with like a really good idea. Then so be it, you know? But then it's that one idea can get you the same results that it would take you like 2 or 3 years to get in the span of, let's say, a month.
So I had a couple questions from that. So just to give everybody context. So in my example, say I'm in a niche of real estate investing, and I'm in a particular niche called wholesaling. And but there's only a very small number of humans in the world and YouTube searching or looking for information on that. So my mistake, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that I have been making videos about, let's say, particular items inside the wholesale real estate niche, which those videos, if I really now, after you and I had a conversation, I went and looked and say, if I'm going to do a video on how to find cash buyers for your real estate wholesaling business, and I see that, oh, the video that has the most views on YouTube about that topic in the last year only has like 8,000 views, then, that video, unless I want to stay really, really small and niche, isn't really going to generate that many views, no matter how great of editing or tactics or different things I do, because it's such a small sliver of the human population that are interested in that topic. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I'd say that's correct.
Okay. Now, what's the let's say what's the argument against? Let's say if I'm in the real estate niche, I could argue that, well, I really only want real estate investors, and so it's okay if I have a smaller audience because I just want these type of people. Now, that's one argument. The other argument is, hey, you should grow your channel as big as you can, because you're still going to get the people that are interested in real estate, but then you're going to grow your channel to just give you more opportunities. So that's the second view, and I think that you and I had a conversation, and we discussed that your view is that if me as a creator, anybody here that's listening, if you grow your channel as big as you can, then that's just going to create more opportunities for you all around. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like if you have a large following,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to make money the rest of your life, no matter like what happens. Let's say that you lost everything tomorrow, Chris. If you still have, like, I think Russell Brunson calls it his like 1,000 true fans.
Right.
If you have 1,000 true fans, you can sell anything and you'll be set for the rest of your life.
Got
And
it. Yeah.
so the thing is just like the larger that you grow yourself, the more opportunities it essentially presents you. Let's say that like you as a person, Chris, that let's say that you have 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers on YouTube versus the reach that you have with, let's say, 1 million subscribers. Those are two completely different ballparks. One of them, you're getting invited to events all the time, and you're getting asked to like speak at events, and you're well known by the people that are not making any money yet.
Right.
Like and just like like you're gonna go out in public and people are gonna like recognize you, and it's just like you get invited into certain rooms that maybe normally that you wouldn't. Whereas like 1,000 subscribers, unless you're making good money on your business and you're just a very low key guy, then you're really not gonna have any opportunities knocking on your door at all.
Got it. And so just really growing your audience, it's kind of like the Kardashian effect, or any of these celebrities that you see out there, where just by them being a celebrity, they're always presented with and have just so many opportunities that you can also do the same on with a YouTube channel, because then you're going to have the same effect, and you're just going to have more opportunities available to you for your current business and other things you maybe not have thought about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let's say that tomorrow that you want to become, let's say like you want to get big into fishing, it's like
Right.
you'll have like a decent sized audience that'll like carry over with you into the fishing world or whatever it may be.
All right. And
But
then
yeah, it's kind of like
go
the
ahead.
audience will help supplement you with whatever that you want to do.
Here's my question to you. For somebody starting out brand new, and they're looking at us and saying, oh my God, look, these guys have all this fancy camera equipment. Look at Chico. He has the lights going on back there. Can someone get started just with their cell phone if they're making good videos? Is that possible?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, like I've seen, like, here, imagine this. Like I came up with this little concept that I like to share with people. Imagine that you had a video of, let's say, Taylor Swift punching a baby. And let me ask you now something, Chris. Does it matter if you recorded that video on a flip phone?
No, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter at all.
Yeah, like you would post that video, even if it's a crummy video, you suck at making thumbnails, titles, whatever, like you suck at SEO and keyword research, and you don't understand, like, I don't know, YouTube or anything, and you just upload that video of Taylor Swift punching a baby. That video is going to get like 10 million views tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe more. Like it's going to be all over the news. And so at the end of the day, the content is the most important part. All the other stuff, it's just little, like, it's just additives to make it even better. When I started my YouTube channel, I think this is the phone. No, I have it somewhere, but I used an old iPhone. I think it was a 6 Plus.
Got it.
And I would just literally just put that up on, like, I'd put it on like grab a stack of books or something like that. And then I'd put it like up on top, and then I'd lean, and then that's how I'd record the videos. And then I would actually edit it on my iPhone too. I'd use like iMovie or whatever. And that's how I started my original YouTube channel. So if you go back and look at I call it like Real Estate University now or something like that. If you go back and watch those videos, like I used an iPhone for all of them. I did them in my college dorm. Like I didn't know how to do really anything. It's like and what's funny is my most viral videos are my worst ones on that channel. I think
that's interesting.
I have a video with like 50,000 views on it that on that channel, that it was one of the first like 20 videos that I uploaded. And it was me in my college dorm talking about how to find like contracts for wholesaling deals. And that video, even though I like tried remaking it and all these things, like that video was like the best performing one out of all of them. Even though it was like crappy, like the audio was terrible. Me talking to the camera was really bad. Like I really had no sort of self-confidence, really. I was like super awkward. And that was one of my best performing videos. It was because it was like such a desired piece of content, and nobody else really had that same video out. So when I tried doing it later, it's like people have already seen my other videos, so it wasn't that same.
Yeah. So would you say, though, let's say that if somebody is going to use their phone, which is a device that they already have in their hand, would you say, though, that at a minimum, out of everything, that the audio, this is my opinion, that the audio is relatively more important than the video quality, meaning that people are willing to forgive okay video quality, but if the audio is not that great, then that's gonna be a problem. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, actually audio is the most important. Like actually, like some of my channels with higher budgets will hire sound engineers.
Oh, got it.
Videos, and that's like a bigger priority than the actual content itself. But yeah, it's like kind of making sure that the audio is good, and making sure that part is like it's easy to listen to. And as far as the videos, like that part's, you can use like Paint or something, on your old Windows Paint or whatever. I've seen like the lowest quality visuals, and the videos still get millions of views.
Now, what about you touched on a little bit on this, is that timing? Because a lot of times, you might have I've done this with my channel, and I'm sure people will do this. They'll go on YouTube, they think about topics, and they're like, oh, that guy got 100,000 views from that video. Let me do my own version of that, and suddenly YouTube is going to come and suggest my video because it's right. It's the same thing as theirs, and they copy all the. But what you and I talked about that many times. When you look at a video like that, why is it that it's hard to replicate that? Like, because that's I think I've done that, and a lot of people do that. They're like, oh, let me just copy this guy's video that and I'll just make a different version of it, and now the YouTube guys will come knocking on my door. Why is it that strategy doesn't really work as other people tout it to work?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it's like 100% like that it works that way. Cause I mean, I've seen, like, for example, Google, they were like the 12th search engine company to like get into building search engines.
Yeah,
And at this point in time, they're really like one of the only ones that's left. And
got
even
it.
though they were like the 12th person to it, they were bringing like their personality and everything that they brought to the industry was different than everybody else. So I can't say that it's like completely finite, but it is one of those things where it's like, at least on YouTube, if people have already seen the video, the chances are that it's like they're not going to want to watch the same video unless it's a music video, or unless you're bringing something new to the table or something
Yeah,
that's like adding to the experience or whatever it may be. Then it's kind of like if you did a video that's like top 10 mountains to climb or something, and you
right.
talked about the same 10 mountains that the other channel talked about, then it's like the chance of the viewer wanting to watch that same video is like slim to none.
Right. So in other
um
words, if you are looking at a video and you're saying, "Wow, they got a lot of views. Let me make my own version." You got to bring something unique to the table and a different spin on it, so that now that makes your video stand out, makes it unique. That then you'll get people to watch it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you need to like bring something new to the table. Maybe instead of top 10 mountains to climb, maybe like top 10 deadliest mountains or something.
Got it. Okay. Now, so let's say if somebody has the content strategy right, like say I start making unique videos that nobody knows about, then the other two factors that most people talk about is the thumbnail and the title. Between the thumbnail and the title, is there one that you would consider? Let's say if content strategy is number one, what would you say is number two, or they're both equally important, thumbnail and the title together?
So I'd say it kind of all goes hand in hand. Like it's like content strategy and then thumbnail and title. It's like before I make any video, I visualize the thumbnail first on how that's going to come out.
Okay.
So maybe
And
I'll
why?
come up with titles and I'll come up with the
Yeah.
content strategy. But then at the end of the day, it's like, what's the thumbnail going to look like? Unless I have like 1 million subscribers already, like none of that stuff really matters all that much. Like I've seen channels with 3 million subscribers where they don't even put a title on the video and it still gets like 500,000 views. But if you have like 10 subscribers,
Hmm.
it's like you need to make sure that that video is as clickable as possible. And the thing that really sells videos is the thumbnail. Like 99.999% of the time when someone clicks on a video, they see the thumbnail first, then they look at the title, and then they decide whether or not they're going to want to watch that video. And a lot of times it happens in a fraction of a second. It's like microseconds where like the decision factor needs to be made. It's like, are they going to watch like you talking about, let's say, real estate, or are they going to watch some like koalas that are being saved from a wildfire in, let's say, like Japan or something?
Right. Yeah. So that's a couple points I wanted to make a comment on that is that because the thumbnails, when it comes to the thumbnail, so the thumbnail is the thing that's going to grab their attention. Then they're going to look at the title, and then of course you're doing the best you can on the thumbnail, and you have to deliver whatever it is that you promised on the video, right, on the thumbnail, or what they think they're going to get. Otherwise, then they're just going to pop out. So it has to be congruent with the video content, right?
Well, yeah, to get tactical, I'd say like you want to make sure that you provide what you're selling so that way people want to show up again. Because I mean, if you're like, hey, we're giving out free Snickers bars,
Right.
and then they show up and then you're like, oh, just kidding, we're just giving the wrappers away. People are gonna be like, oh, haha, whatever. But if you just keep doing that, they're gonna be like, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf.
Got
You
it.
need to provide what you're selling. And so that way, if you provide what you're selling, then they're like, oh, this guy gives out free Snicker bars every time he says he's giving out free Snicker bars. So I'm gonna go get a free Snicker bar because this guy fulfills what he says he's selling.
Now, is there one of the things you mentioned, which also I didn't I had I guess I knew, but I didn't really realize until you said it to me, was that if I'm in the real estate niche, for example, I'm not competing just against other real estate videos. I'm competing on with every other single creator that's there. So, like in other words, my if I have a real estate video and you're a real estate investor, but you also have like Mr. Beast, and you also have all these other videos that are in the same timeline. So like my thumbnail has to stick out not only among the real estate guys, but I have to stick out among everything else that's there. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you're competing against the same viewers. I mean, obviously you'll have more real estate niche people, but they'll still get shown a Mr. Beast video alongside of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, maybe like for a while, for example, like I would watch like Fortnite videos for fun, and then I'd watch like an educational video, and I'd just mix it back and forth. Like sometimes I feel like just watching brainless content. Sometimes I'd feel like watching something that would like help improve my life. And so what you got to do is like, if you're trying to help improve someone's life, you need to make it more interesting than the brainless content that doesn't fulfill anybody in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. And which is a kind of a tough battle, but it's the more that you can make your content almost seem like brainless and easy to consume, but then at the end of the day, it's like you're actually helping people out or whatever. Then you're gonna be able to get more clicks. So it's at the end of the day, it's like what are the masses gonna be able to click on? And you
Yeah.
got to think like who the masses are. The most masses, like they're sitting around watching Netflix all day or whatever. So it's like how can you appeal to those people? Or they're sitting around watching TikTok all day. Which, and
Yeah.
to be honest, like that's bringing a whole new challenge to YouTube. Is like people are so used to watching 5-15 second videos. It's like you got to kind of match that same kind of energy or that same type of emotion that you're able to capture in like 15 seconds on TikTok.
Yeah, because they're getting used to getting that they're getting used to getting those nibbles from TikTok and fast and furious. Is there a particular, let's say I take out my phone, I say, hey, I got to make videos that are more interesting, right? So first thing is I got to look at my content strategy, and I can't make videos like I got to think about a wider audience. So in my example, and this I'm saying this for maybe for you guys that are watching that maybe not in the real estate niche, rather than me talking about real estate wholesaling, I would start to talk about real estate investing in general, the big picture. But I would also talk about making money in general and self-development. And those are topics that are of a broader audience. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, so you'd probably want to make videos that's like sexy to like the mass audiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then like let's say that your ultimate goal is to like get them into, let's say, real estate wholesaling or real estate investing. You want to kind of be like get them in, like maybe do like something that would really capture their attention, and then you kind of like secretly get them to fall in love with, let's say, real estate.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So I was giving you the example of a channel that I've been watching. Channels called the Timepiece Gentleman, and this guy is getting a lot of views because he's telling his story about his business. And I have no desire at all to buy an expensive watch. I've never had. But now after watching his channel and being sucked into, hey, this is, the guy's a pretty good guy and it's general topics, etc. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking about buying a watch where 6 months ago I wasn't thinking about buying a watch. And I think that's what you're talking about. You're bringing in the bigger audience. They're like, oh, I wonder what this guy does. And now they're coming in and being interested in the thing you do.
Yeah, well, what they're doing with that channel too is like their main niche is like watches, but then they're also bringing in these little sub niches as well. Like I didn't look at the channel too much, but I saw they had like, let's say, Kevin O'Leary in there. So they're bringing Kevin O'Leary's audience and watches. They're combining them, or let's say that they're doing rappers, so they're bringing the rap community and watches together. They're taking every video is about watches, but then they're taking some other form of content that has like an audience, and then they bring it over into their little atmosphere essentially.
Right. So in other words, then say if somebody's looking at, hey, I'm going to create content and I have to create wider content and I'm creating content about real estate. It's not good enough just for me to do a general real estate video because that's going to be like the same.
Yeah, that's
video.
only good for the general real estate people. Whereas,
Right.
like, let's say that you could talk about real estate and let's say like rappers, then you're going to bring the rappers into the real estate niche. Or let's say that you're talking about real estate and drug lords or something like that, then you're bringing those people that are interested in that narcos content over into your real estate niche, or let's say clowns or science or I don't
Right.
know, whatever it may be. You need to find these other things that you can tap into and somehow tie it together.
So an example, an example would be if I'm in the real estate niche, and then say I bought a house to flip it, then like the way to make that content unique would be not saying I'm doing this, but because I don't think I could do this. I could survive a couple of days. So let's say I bought a really crappy house in the middle of a really bad area. I'm like, hey, I bought this house and I'm gonna live in it until I sell it. And then you do a video on that, right? So that would be like a video that's meshing the real estate with maybe something else that makes it more interesting. Would you say that that would be a good explanation of that?
Yeah, so that one, it's kind of like you're tying in emotions. Like, so I mean, like, let's say that you bought a house in the hood, and then
Right.
you're like, and you going in and like living in this house for like, let's say, a week, and there's just like all sorts of like gang violence in the area or something like
Right.
that. it's like tying it. It's like people aren't really showing up for the real estate content at that point. They're showing up for like, is this guy gonna like survive? Or
Right. Yes.
like it's like they're almost like what's this guy going? Like there's a lot of emotional attachment into the video, and it kind of like there's a lot of emotions there.
So
That
for people that are creators, would you say that an easier hack of content is to involve some sort of story behind their content? So if you are an accountant, for example, and you could make accounting videos, that's not going to get you that much. So you have to widen the niche to cover a broader perspective of people wanting to make money, save money in taxes, but then also incorporating some sort of storyline around that. Would that be kind of I'm trying to think about like a content hack that somebody
well,
here.
the main fundamental of it is like emotion. Is there some sort of like emotion that you can tie into the video? And stories are an easy way to tie in emotion because like let's talking about how Cris went from being some broke kid that had a beat up Nissan Altima or something, and now he's driving a Ferrari and he's living this big life. It's like there's this like emotional attachment, and there's like this come up story, and it's just like, oh my gosh, wow.
Right.
Or if you talk about like some like crazy like scenario that you were in where like you're, let's say, the suspect of like a murder victim or something like that, then you're like, it's like that emotional attachment. It's like stories help a lot, but it's like fundamentally is like, is there a way that I can tie emotion into this? Like maybe let's say that you do something for like, let's say a homeless man or something like
Got it.
that, or whatever it may be. And it's just like the reason why Mr. Beast videos do insanely well is because like a lot of times you're like laughing, you're like, oh my gosh, you just gave away like $10,000
Yeah.
for someone just like blinking twice or something. You
Yeah.
know, you're like, it's like this weird, like it's like as much as you can bring people on an emotional roller coaster, the more that like people love feeling emotions. That's why like horror films do well. It's like why um different like drama shows on TV that are like, I don't get how people watch them, but they'll watch, let's say, like the Housewives of Beverly Hills or whatever, or you know.
Now, the question that I had is that, so like, for example, I had a couple questions that came from that. So using me as an example, then an example could be that if I had a channel about real estate, and this would be for anyone. So if you have a channel about a thing you do, then what's the story behind that? So the story behind me would be that, hey, I'm a dad who's trying to build a business. And then I'm bringing that part of the equation in there. I live in Miami, so maybe I could do content in different parts of Miami where there's maybe I'm bringing in a different scenery, a different vibe, and giving people the story behind that, because maybe I'm doing a video in a restaurant that's really famous and they're also seeing that. Would that kind of thinking about the content in that way is something that would be beneficial for people?
Yeah, you're getting there. I mean, it's like the more extreme of the emotion that you can get, the better. As close as you can get to that line without like crossing it and actually doing something that's detrimental to your brand,
Yeah.
the more it's like you're gonna get people like, oh my gosh, did this actually happen? And so it's like, I don't know, maybe you could talk about like the time where it's like you had to like, I don't know, like this is, I don't know the story behind it all, Cris, but like maybe you had to like leave your kids for like 6 months or something so that way you can
Right.
make money to, you know. So it's like, yeah, you can like show these things unless it's like you're hanging out with, let's say, like LeBron James or something in a coffee shop. It's like you want to try to find like what I'm trying to go to is the extremes. And then I'm trying to figure out where the extremes relate to you and your person, as far as like if you're doing like a personal brand channel. And so
Yeah.
what are the extremes that are in Chris's life? And then that we like, there's a story behind that we can kind of turn into a
Yeah.
piece of content. And
Got it. Which is, it's a simple thing to do, but it's also a hard thing to do. Like, it's simple conceptually, but it's also hard. I think maybe would you say that it almost feels like whatever content you're comfortable making, you have to then get to the point where you feel like either embarrassed about the video that you're making, or you feel kind of weird about it. You feel like, man, that's really stretching it. Almost you
yeah,
gotta.
or you even feel like you're flashy maybe,
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah,
or like
that's actually a good point, because I'm not a flashy guy, but then that's something that gets people's attention, and so then yeah, I think it's a maybe the best way to describe it is just a shift in mindset. It's a continually pushing yourself. So let me ask you this: let's say if you're a creator and you're starting to create content, then would you say that in the beginning that sometimes volume would help in terms of getting you more comfortable with continuing to push the envelope? Like if you're just starting out, you may not know, like, I have the benefit of the fact that I'm working with you. So you're able to tell me, oh, that's a crappy idea. No, that's not a good idea. But for somebody watching here, how would they gauge that? Because I've
Yes.
always thought, oh, this is a great video. And then I realized, no, Chico, that was a really crappy video you made.
Yeah. So I would say at first, just go on, like, just have no emotion. Just start putting out content,
Okay.
Just start falling in love with like the process of just like failing forward.
Yeah.
And just start, like, the main thing is just like, if you're just like sitting here overwhelmed thinking about like I'm getting extremely tactical, and I appreciate Cris in this interview and this call being able to kind of bring me back to ground a little bit, because I think of these like fundamental concepts that are kind of a little bit out there, especially
Right.
for the average beginner. That's an issue that I kind of run into as a person, is I'm always thinking of like the 100,000 foot perspective of things rather than like the
And I'm the
uh,
opposite. I'm looking for like, what's the nuts and bolts, right?
yeah, you're good at like kind of like translating it. So I appreciate that, especially in this video. But the main thing is just like, the worst thing that you can do is not take action and not upload any content.
Yeah.
Like, I recommend just go do something. Like when I first started that channel, that I like the channel I did after the real estate, I'll be honest, I just literally downloaded someone else's video, reordered it, and posted it.
Hmm.
It was a terrible idea. Like if I kept doing it, it's like I would just be kind of a rip off of someone else. But at least got the ball rolling. And then the next day, it's like, okay, I'm actually going to learn how to do it. Like I got the first video out, I got that off my chest. Now I don't feel as much pressure to like put out this like perfect video. And you can always take down videos that you've put out in the past.
Yeah.
Like let's say that you go for a month, all your videos are trash, but at least you learned all the basics and you learned how to like upload a video. You learned how to like do all these things. Just do that at first. And then once you start to like kind of get the hang of things,
Yeah.
now start thinking like conceptually and fundamentally, like how can I you can apply the stuff that we talked about inside this video. So like if you're watching this video right now, I recommend saving this video, maybe even adding it to a playlist of yours. Go take action on creating a YouTube channel, whether it be like a faceless channel like I've done, or or like if you're doing a personal brand, if you've been putting it off and you've been thinking about it all day or for a long period of time, then go start that right now, and then come back like let's say like 15 days later, a month later, and rewatch this video and then apply some of the other stuff that we talked about inside of here. So the main thing is like, go take action right now, start up your channel, even like comment it down below in the comments, like what is your channel? Like if you guys go and start it today, go comment what it was down below, just to like show everybody, like have other people help hold you accountable. You'll probably even get some subscribers putting it down below, just being like, hey guys, I watched this video and I went and did this channel. And then from there, then start thinking like, okay, now emotionally, like how can I get as many people to click this video as possible? So learn the basics, kind of just get going. And then from there, now that like Cris has been doing YouTube for 10 years or whatever, and he's been going hard for the last few years, the last couple of years. Now you're at a point where it's like, you got all the fundamentals down. Now we just got to rewire your brain. So that way you think differently. Like none of it went to waste, because all it really was is like all these like hundreds of videos that you've uploaded have really helped you understand how YouTube works and like a basic form. But now all you have to do is just like think fundamentally. Like we just got to rewire you towards thinking about viral videos now.
Right.
And that simple tweak, now that you've put in the hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours, into learning how to upload videos on YouTube and creating content, is going to all go to work with helping you like now learning like kind of like, let's say, the black belt strategies as far as like YouTube goes. Like you've already got your white belt, your brown belt, all of that. And then now it's time for Cris to take off and start thinking bigger.
Well, there's definitely a mindset shift, because for those of you here, what happens is that I'm doing the niche videos, but then after working with Devon now, like I can't make those videos anymore. Like you really screwed me over, because I'm like, you can't make that video, Chico, because but we don't want that. Like in other words, it's only because I've recorded so many other videos, and so I have a frame now, right? So now I'm now trying to push the envelope. But I think what Devon is saying is that in the beginning, you might have an idea of what is going to be viral, and it's do the best you can to come up with those ideas and go ahead and publish them. You come back to the work you've done 6 months later, because you've acquired a bunch of new knowledge and a new expertise. You're going to look back at those videos and say, wow, those were really not that great. but it's a continual process of reevaluating and continuing to, push, that is going to get you success. So like you said, like the time that I have here with my videos is not time wasted. I think it would be time wasted if I continue to do the same thing I'm doing now, knowing what I know. But I think that, I think that there's a couple guys out there that I was getting advice from, and they were like just like pounding away, video every single day. And then I'm like, now understanding how this whole thing is played, I understand that is going to just be like, I call it the YouTube penitentiary, video after video after video, and you're just going to be like a couple hundred subscribers a month and not many views. So as you guys here on this channel, you're going to see content that's going to be different than what I've done before, and you have this man to thank for it. And you're gonna be like, oh wow, look at all this great stuff, and it's because of Devon's continuing to push me and to say, hey Chico, your videos are crappy, record another one. In a good way. Anything else that I know we've covered a lot, and I want to be attentive to your time, and we covered a lot of tactical stuff. Anything else that you would say that anything else that comes to mind, that when you look out there and you see people trying to get, work on YouTube and get it going, that you feel like you just want to grab them and choke them because you're like, this is not going to work, buddy. You got to change what you're doing. Anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah. So I actually have to go run to salsa dancing here in a second, but yeah, kind of the main thing is just find some sort of idea. Don't worry about like the small details. Like most people, like especially with the faceless channels, they're just like, oh, what about copyright claim, or like how do I find music, or like whatever. It's just like, go get started.
Yeah.
Just start uploading. Like just take the first step forward, take action. It's like, don't look at the top of Mount Everest when you're like going on the hike. Just look at the steps that you're taking forward up the mountain. Eventually over time, you're going to be at the top of Mount Everest. It's kind of like, just get started, and then from there then it's kind of just one foot in front of the other. And then I would say those that have like a budget, like the main thing that I would do is just like try to save yourself as much time as possible. Let's say they're trying to get into real estate, go hire Cris as a mentor. Like you guys don't need to like go spend the 10,000 hours that he spent trying to like go and try to like reinvent the wheel. Like he's already like this guy's gotten thousands of arrows in his back, failing so much forward. Go hire this guy as a coach, so that way you don't have to make those same mistakes. They say you have to learn through failure, but the failure doesn't have to be your own. I spend like tens of thousands of dollars on mentoring, and I always try to hire somebody with whatever I'm trying to do in that industry or whatever, that business or whatever it may be, like YouTube or management or how to own a business or whatever. I'll always find someone that's good at it, and then I'll just hire them to like teach me how to do it, or I'll pay them to set it up for me or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that I'm going to leave it here with a gym analogy. I think that one of the benefits that I've had in terms of working with you on this is that it's like when you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer. If you're on your own, you're only going to push the bench press so much. You're going to say, you know what, that set's enough. I'll finish the other set next time. Whereas you have a trainer, they're like, no, you gotta. We got to go to the next level on this if you really want to get the results. And so for me, I think the benefit of me working with you is that you're pushing me to think outside the box. You're like, no, this is not good. We need a better video idea. And so I think for anyone here, this applies to any niche, whether you're in real estate or you're trying to get your YouTube game on, is that you got to be around people that are going to be pushing you, that have been through the path that you're going, but are saying, hey, I know where you need to go, and where you are right now is not going to get you there. And I'm just honestly, I'm happy you and I connected in the way we have, because I was a little bit, what's the right word I'm looking for is, I was at wit's end. That's the best way I can say it. Because I'm like, man, I don't want to, I know I want to be able to grow this channel, but I'm just not getting any traction. And I just was on blinders about, hey, this is the way that these guys are telling me to do it. Now, working with you, it's really helped me look at things differently. And I know that over the next, 3 to 6 months, I'm going to have much more different results than I've been getting. And I'm more than happy to share with you guys here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned, because the content is definitely going to change. And just, working with you has helped me just rewire my brain to look at content in a different way. So I appreciate that. And I would say just definitely this guy's an expert when it comes to YouTube. It's someone that I respect. It's someone that I'm learning from. So I recommend that you follow him. And he's going to be publishing a lot more content on this. And just any parting words that you would say for anybody that about YouTube and they're thinking about YouTube and maybe on the fence about getting started with YouTube in general, whether it be a faceless or even a personal brand channel.
Yeah, I would say the main thing is just like, as far as like if you're trying to do really good on YouTube, just consume lots of YouTube.
Yeah,
and then just kind of go from like watch videos in all sorts of niches or industries. Like even if you're talking about, let's say, real estate, like Cris, watch Mr. Beast videos, watch I don't know, maybe old Casey Neistat blogs, or like watch like what Logan Paul or some of these people that are like big creators that are getting insane results in other niches, and figure out how you can apply it to your own stuff. And then the main thing is just, if you guys are thinking about it, just go upload a video right now. Go try to make your first piece of content. Like I have a friend, he's an insane expert at like nutrition. And every day he's like, oh, I'm thinking about getting to start with the YouTube channel. I'm about to go drive over there and just set it up for it. Like, I don't even know how to set up camera equipment or anything like that. Just set it up and just be like, hit record, and then just be like, all right, let's talk. Let's do it. Like, all right, start talking about like how to clean your gut or whatever.
Well, they say the best time to get started was yesterday. So if yesterday, that was today. So I'm with you. I appreciate our time together. And again, definitely, guys, follow him and stay tuned to the channel because we got big changes coming. And again, appreciate our time together, Devon. So thank you for that.
Yeah, appreciate it. If you guys got any value out of this video, make sure to like the video down below and subscribe. So thank you so much for your time, Cris. Appreciate you. You're the man, and I'm excited to see what's to come.
Yes.